Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Sri Tips here. I just wanted to capture a quick video of the results I'm getting from my dual silver cell setup. This is silver cell number 1, and it's associated and connected to this power supply, and you'll notice that the current flow through silver cell number 1 is much greater than the current flow through silver cell number 2. To achieve the much greater current flow, this is the anode filter that was in silver cell number 1. You can see it's pretty much clogged up with silver cell slimes, and it's really goopy down in there. So last night what I did is I changed out the filter bag and put a fresh, clean filter bag in here, and I filled that anode filter right there that we're looking at right there up with impure silver. I get the impure silver from gold refining that I do. It looks like this. These are the impure silver granules, and what I do is I recover this silver from my gold refining. It's going to contain traces of platinum group metals and gold and copper in this impure silver. This is a 5-gallon bucket, and there are pieces of copper down in here. And what I do is I take my silver that I recover from my gold refining, and I put it in this bucket, and it's a silver nitrate and copper nitrate solution. And then I add pieces of copper in here, and then the silver cements out onto these pieces of copper in this bucket, and the silver forms a gray powder that falls to the bottom of the bucket. The copper goes into solution as the pure silver metal comes out of solution onto these pieces of copper in this bucket. Now, any platinum group metals or gold that is contained in the silver nitrate solutions that I add in here will cement out onto the copper as well. And those traces of platinum group metals and gold will cement out along with the silver, because the platinum group metals tend to follow the silver. That silver powder in my 5-gallon bucket that I used copper to cement the silver out, I gather up that silver powder in the bottom of that bucket, and I rinse all the blue liquid off of it. The blue liquid is copper nitrate, and then I melt it into these granules. Copper will be the main contaminant here, and that's why it looks so ugly. But what we're going to do now is this new filter has enabled this full bag of impure silver to dissolve overnight with that high current flow. So what I'm going to do is reach down in here, get a few of these silver granules. We're going to refill the anode basket. All right, now we'll reestablish our current flow through here by adding the electrode bar. And you'll see the current flow has actually increased through the cell now that I've added the additional impure silver in here. It's forced it down into the bottom of the basket, the anode filter basket, and increased the contact area with the electrolyte down inside the silver cell. And here's what our silver crystal's looking like in here. This is just over a week's worth of growth in here. This is silver cell number 2, and you can see that the silver in this anode filter basket is not being consumed as quickly because the filter has become clogged up with anode filter slimes. They're called slimes. It's a slurry of platinum group metals, a little bit of gold, some silver nitrate. See the traces of platinum group metals and gold in the impure shot collect and accumulate and concentrate in this anode filter. And you'll see that the current flow is much lower on silver cell number 2, 0.8 amps, as opposed to 3.6 amps on silver cell number 1. And that's because the slimes in this anode filter is inhibiting the current flow through the silver cell. The traces of gold and platinum group metals that get concentrated in the anode filter basket, I save these filters, and what I'll do one day is process the material, the slimes, in these anode filters that I've accumulated. And like I said, there's going to be traces of gold. Some gold gets dissolved when I do the nitric acid boils on the unquarted gold. The dissolved gold will travel into the silver jar, and then when I cement the silver out of the silver nitrate solution, those traces of gold will cement out with the silver and end up in my silver. And since they're insoluble from the electrolytic action in the silver cell, they accumulate in these anode filters. And what I'll do is I'll do a video soon on recovering the precious metals that are in these anode filter slimes. Silver cell number 1 has been running for about 9 days now, so it's getting close to harvest time for silver cell number 1. I'll probably go a few more days on this one. And then on this one, this is silver cell number 2, the one that we just built here recently. This has been running since for about a week, about 10 days. And there's the silver that we've got accumulated in silver cell number 2, the new one. And we'll let both of these run and get just as full of silver crystal as we can. And then we'll do a harvest on both silver cells at the same time and see what kind of yield we're going to get with both silver cells in operation. I picked a little bit of the silver granules out of this second silver cell, and if you look up here, you'll see that the current flow is low on this silver cell. And what I've done is made up a brand new filter basket. And so what we'll do is go ahead and fill this up now with impure silver. One last look at the power supply for silver cell number 2. And now what we'll do is I'm going to pull the electrode bar out, and we're going to remove the old anode filter. It's plugged up with silver cell slime, so we're going to take it out of the cell. And now we're going to drop in the new anode filter basket. I've got the new anode filter in here now. You'll notice that with the electrode bar off of the anode filter basket, we have 0 current flow. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the electrode bar on here and look at the current flow now. 0.03, and that's expected. That will begin to rise here in a few minutes as the electrolyte soaks into the new anode filter and makes contact with that impure silver that we've added into the anode filter basket. Looks like we pegged out at about 2.8 amps, but that's 2 amps higher than what we started with. So the benefit of changing out that anode filter is increased current flow through the cell, and the current flow is what does the work. So that means we're going to get faster silver production in the silver cell. And I guess this will conclude the video. What we'll do in a future video then is process these anode slimes for the precious metals that they contain. I guess that'll conclude the video for today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching.